Welcome to Tupperware Cooking with Chef Mike. Today I am gloved up because we're going to make some Chipotle pork tenderloin tacos with a fresh peach salsa. And I've got my gloves on because I've got to rub the pork with my mixture of grainy Dijon mustard as opposed to the smooth Dijon mustard. I like the extra flavor with the coarse grain version. And I've added 3 tablespoons of a Chipotle type seasoning mix. It's got cayenne pepper and a little bit of chipotle powder, a little bit of garlic powder and oregano. So I'm just going to make this into a paste. And now the gloves, because I've got pork tenderloin in my pressure cooker, and I'm going to rub this mixture all over the pork before it cooks. And I would much rather do this with gloves on because it's much easier to clean up after. So just get that all over the pork. And then get the gloves off with a minimum of mess. Okay, that's part one. Let me get a bit of this off the counter. Now we're going to make the rest of the sauce, because remember, in the pressure cooker you do need to cook in liquid. So I've got a red onion that I've simply peeled and quartered. I'm going to chop that up in the Power Chef. And I'm going to add the chopped onion right into the pressure cooker. Get these out of the way. And then for our liquid, I've got a cup of beef broth, and I've got 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, it's okay, but this really is a good complement. And then I've got about a teaspoon of dried thyme. And remember, I've told you in the past, when you're using dried herbs, always crush them first because it releases so much more flavor. So I'm just going to mix that in with the beef broth and just give it a quick stir. We're going to pour that over. Now, I could not be a self-respecting Georgian if I did not add peaches to this dish, especially Georgia peaches when they're in season. So I've got 3 peaches that I've peeled and sliced, and I'm just going to add those right in with everything else and just sort of stir them in. I don't need to submerge them all the way, but I just want to get everything distributed. Really simple recipe, and these tenderloins are going to be so tender, sorry, but it's true, and they only take 25 minutes, and then we can make our tacos. So I'm going to seal up the pressure cooker, arrow to arrow, clockwise turn, lock and load, 25 minutes, and we'll be back after I make the salsa. And now it's time to make the fresh peach salsa with my beautiful Georgia peaches, because it's peach season. All right, I've got my quick chef here, and to that I'm going to add a quartered red onion. That was a big onion. I'm not going to use all of it right now. If I need more, I can add it later. And I'm just going to chop this up chunkily, if that's a word. And then I need some lime zest. So I'm using our Zest Impress, and just in the interest of time, I've already gotten this started, as you see. So I'm just going to take the rest of the skin off of the lime, and notice that there is no skin falling on the floor or on the counter, because it's all being caught in its own special receptacle. I will show you. That's about enough for now. But as you see, all that zest is safely contained right here. Now I need some lime juice. That will also help keep my peaches from turning color and browning. So using the Zest Impress, I'm going to add half of my lime now And then I'll taste it just for seasoning and see how things are. And I can add more if I need to. All right. Now, I've got some cilantro. I'm a cilantro lover, so I tend to be kind of generous on it. I know some people are haters. I don't understand you people. But that's okay. So I'm going to chop the cilantro. Again, coarsely. Now I need some heat. So I'm going to take a jalapeno pepper. And this one is kind of large, and heat doesn't bother me, but I know that some people probably don't want it so spicy. So what you can do to remove some of that heat is to take out the white membrane, because that is where the heat is. It's still a hot pepper. Do not be fooled, but it will be much less hot without that membrane. If I was at home, I would use everything. So I'm going to add that. Give it a quick chop. Now I'm going to add some Southwest Chipotle style seasoning. And I'm going to add about 3/4 of my peaches. I like a chunkier salsa, but I also want the peach flavor. So with the first round, I'm going to chop these up until they're fairly small. And then I'll add the rest and leave them chunkier. There we go. Now the same is true with my red bell pepper. I like it a bit chunky. So I'm going to add just cut up pieces of red pepper. I'm living on the edge. I'm going to add all of my peaches because I can. My kitchen, my rules. And here we go. Now I want to watch it this time just to make sure that it isn't too chunky. Yeah, I still got a few pieces in there that are holding on. Nope. I'm having a peach revolt here. There we go. Thank you. All right. That's some nice chunky salsa. So the beauty of the Quick Chef is that once I finish chopping, I can just take it, seal this puppy right up. This is a new one, so it's being a little stubborn. All right, got this sealed. I'm going to refrigerate this until the tacos are ready, and then off we go. Okay, our tenderloin is just about done. And as you see, we are in the up position with our pressure indicator, so this needs to rest 15 minutes or so until we can dig in. And while that's happening, I want to talk about our different choppers because they are unique and they all do different things. So we'll start with the little baby. This is the Chop and Prep, and this is the little brother or sister of the Power Chef. This one is great if you only have to chop a couple of cloves of garlic or maybe just a small bit of cilantro or herbs. You can actually make your own peanut butter in this. Just some dry roasted peanuts, a little bit of oil, and off you go. So this one and the Power Chef, which is a much larger version, are amazingly good at chopping things very, very finely. So if you want to puree something, you can certainly do it in this. But sometimes you need things that are chopped a little more coarsely, and that's why I choose the Quick Chef when I make things like salsa, when I want it a little bit of a chunkier consistency, because they all chop, but this one is really good at chopping things coarsely. Also, if you're making barbecue chicken or barbecue pork loin and want to shred it, this is far easier than using a couple of forks back to back. So I just wanted you to understand our chopper family and use the right tool for the job. All right, our pressure indicator is down, indicating that our pork tenderloins are ready. Let's take a look. So we're going to unlock, open away, lots of steam. Oh my gosh, that smells good. All right, so let's take a look in here. I'm going to grab one of the tenderloins. Let it drain a bit. Okay. Now it's time to build some tacos. So I've got our tortilla warmer here. I love this thing because it actually has an insert. You put a little bit of water in the bottom, put the insert and your tacos, throw it in the microwave for maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it will keep them nice and warm for half an hour at least. So first thing I'm going to do is slice this beautiful pork tenderloin. And I love our cutting boards because they have this well to catch liquid, which, as you see, is a very useful thing. So I'm going to slice this thinly on the diagonal. Look at that, perfectly cooked, juicy, and ready to become a taco. I love the street food. And of course, peaches and pork were meant for each other, and fresh peaches are the best. It's so tender it's falling apart, which is not a bad thing, just makes it difficult for slicing. Okay, that's enough. Now it's time to make a taco. So I'm going to open up my tortilla warmer, grab a taco, nice and soft. All right, I'm going to start with a little bit of shredded cabbage. You could use shredded lettuce or not. I like the cabbage because it has a little bit more crunch, and it goes all over the countertop, which is clean. So that's my foundation. Then I'm going to take some of my pork, and I want to get a couple of these peaches just because that flavor is so nice, because now they're like spiced peaches, which is one of my favorite holiday foods. And one more. Okay, now we can add all of the garnishes. So I've got that beautiful peach salsa that I made earlier. Add a nice little dollop of that. A little bit of cilantro that I went ahead and chopped ahead of time because I like my cilantro. And to be more traditional, a squeeze of lime. And there you have probably the perfect pork peach taco. Thanks for watching, and remember, you don't have to be a chef to cook like one with Tupperware.